Hey everybody, my name is Kelly. I'm the Kelly part of Colossally, my team, and I'm here also on the negative side, saying that it should not continue with the completion of the Keystone pipeline. And despite the claims of the completion of the pipeline will be a positive choice, the Keystone pipeline, along with its negative environmental and social effects pointed out by my partner Jocelyn, it does not necessarily entail positive economic and political effects. And now, first, we'll look at the pipeline in economic terms. Firstly, in relation to the effects of the pipeline on the job market, the significance of it, pointed out by our lovely opponent Melissa, is actually quite meager, because according to TransCanada's Keystone XL job creation data, the Keystone pipeline will create 20,000 jobs, 13,000 in construction, and 7,000 in manufacturing. And although this is a good thing because it is jobs nonetheless, the impact is minimal when it's put into consideration the unemployment rate and amount, which according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is 7.3%, not 7.8. We know that is less. And in terms of people, it's 11.3 million. Although it may seem like too much to ask for the Keystone pipeline to create more jobs, considering the amount it is already claiming to foster, it should be expected, considering that TransCanada's same job creation data shows that the $7 billion pipeline is the largest infrastructure project on the books in the U.S. right now, and you would expect more of it. Secondly, the estimated profit for the U.S. is unreliable, as previously shown by partner Jocelyn, with the estimated GDP amounts, when you evaluate the sources that the profit is coming from. And now, according to the Canadian Energy Research Institute, a prevalent source for updates on the pipeline, if the Keystone XL pipeline becomes operational, the existing oil sands projects, plus oil sands projects that are now feasible due to the addition of the Keystone XL, are estimated to increase U.S. GDP by close to $359 billion between 2010 and 2035. And although this may seem like a really bright future for the U.S. economy, it may be noted that these estimates come from, as previously mentioned, the Canadian Energy Research Institute. If we take a look at the board of directors of this not-for-profit institute, we will see that, We'll see that it's comprised of representatives from government industry, the University of Calgary, and private industry, according to Business Reviews Canada, as well as the Institute Board of Directors page on its website. And with this board of directors is even further examined, it can be seen that the representatives from industry are Mr. George Uzair and Mr. Greg Stringham from Imperial Oil Limited and Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers, respectively. A portion of the funding for this institute comes from the same Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers previously mentioned, and has seen the positive economic information is coming from biased sources for these high GDP estimates, come from mostly this institute and TransCanada itself, which obviously would be biased, considering it's the one pushing for the production of this and the completion of this pipeline. And now we're going to look at the politics of the pipeline. U.S. congressional support for the pipeline is epitomized by Congressman Fred Upton, representing Michigan's 6th District. In July, Upton pushed legislation that would speed up the development of the Keystone XL pipeline through his committee, according to Stephen Kurtzman of Oil Change International. Upton is not intending to hide his support either, as shown through his website, in which he states that he is a major opponent of the Keystone XL pipeline. And this wouldn't be seen as too nefarious, in fact, had the fact not be that, according to Oil Change International, Stephen Kurtzman points out that during his House career, Upton has received $281,350 in oil and gas industry campaign contributions. And the truth is, though, Fred Upton isn't alone. According to OpenSecrets.org, the Center for Responsive Politics, as of 2012, oil and gas industry's monetary contribution to congressional candidates totals to $35,649,532. And the same source gives a list of congressional members who have received the most money from the oil and gas industry. And so let's take a look at a few. First of all, topping at number 1 with the most monetary contribution from oil and gas industry is Rick Berg with $553,169. Votesmart.org shows that Berg helped introduce the North American Energy Access Act, which was approved by the House Energy and Commerce Committee. The legislation would give the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission authority and oversight over the pipeline's permit and construction. And he states that even if the president continues to block common sense energy solutions like those that have worked in North Dakota, we will not stop pursuing them. So as shown, Rick Berg, the list topper, has been shown to support this Keystone pipeline. And then if you look at number 2 on the list, Danny Rayburg with a contribution from oil and gas industry of $513,971. According to an article by Billingsgate Gazette, Danny Rayburg stated that he's among the co-sponsors of a bill that would immediately approve construction of the Keystone XL pipeline. And number 3, John Boner, the Ohio representative, with $455,399 contribution from oil and gas industry. According to the Huffington Post, John Boner stated there's no reason for this critical pipeline to be blocked one more day, and it is time for the president to approve the Keystone pipeline. Number 4, Mitch McConnell has the same type of thing, $425,200 contribution to the oil and gas industry, and he as well supports the Keystone pipeline, as shown as well by the Huffington Post and comments that he made. And the same as number 5, Warren G. Hatch with a contribution of $374,000 and $374,100 from the oil and gas industry. So as it can be seen, there's a correlation amongst monetary contribution to candidates from the same industry that is trying to be expanded with this pipeline. And this correlation demonstrates that there doesn't seem to be positive political effects fostered by the construction of this pipeline, but rather the seeking of a personal political agenda. And therefore, stated, the effects of the Keystone pipeline are not necessarily positive in terms of the economy and politics. And as shown by the opponents, they were talking about that this is the safest and best option for the transportation of oil. But according to Keystone XL Politics and Predictions, if the Obama administration decides not to move forward, it may have little impact on Canada's ability to sell its oil to the United States. In fact, as oil production in the United States' northern Midwest has boomed in recent years, producers have used other venues in transporting oil, mainly rail and trucks. And awaiting the KXL decisions, these producers have been forced to use rail and trucking to move oil that otherwise would flow through KXL. And by this logic, Canadian producers would follow this path, and shipments by these methods will only continue to grow if no pipeline is constructed. And yeah, so therefore we still believe that it shouldn't continue and that the pipeline should not be completed. Thank you.